In this video, we will be introducing and assessing three images: Caravaggio's Taking of Christ, Duccio's Betrayal of Christ, and Giotto's Betrayal of Christ. We will begin with an analysis of each image, then move on to the comparison between them all. In Caravaggio's painting, The Taking of Christ, a depiction of 6 cropped figures are illustrated surrounded by darkness. This represents the Baroque style of art due to the use of light and shade. It was commissioned in 1602 for a wealthy collector and differs from others who have done the same painting. During this time, the Catholic Church was promoting a period of the richest and most extravagantly luxurious production of art. Caravaggio's great skill as a craftsman was put at the service of novel, radical pictorial aspects. The composition of the image displays a minimal cast: Christ, Judas's face, Caravaggio's self-portrait as the man holding the lantern, the heavily armored soldier, the apostle fleeing the scene, and 2 remaining figures on the right. Offering a new visual approach to the biblical story, Caravaggio placed the figures close to the picture plane and used a strong light and dark contrast, giving the scene an extraordinary sense of drama. The format of the half-length figures positioned close to the picture plane, appearing as an extension of the viewer's space, is typical of Caravaggio's early works. The use of light and shade, especially the contrast of the two to enhance the emotions of this moment, truly represent Baroque art. This rendition of this theme broke the traditional style and differs greatly from earlier artworks of the same subject. Next, we have Giotto's Betrayal of Jesus. This illustrates a somewhat similar image to Caravaggio, yet it displays full-length figures painted against a blue sky. This image is an example of the new age of humanism, as well as moving away from the Italo-Byzantine style. The figures shown in the back of the painting are meant to emphasize the foreground. They are aids to the visual placement of the intermediate figures. This makes the viewers observers who are facing the situation as spectators. This creates a sense of stagecraft, which was one of Giotto's big innovations. This created more perspective and lighting, which was an important method for Franciscans when educating the faithful in their religion. Giotto was also known for painting incomplete figures, which would be cut off by the frame, as well as using light and shade to show spatial depth and body mass. Lastly, we will analyze Duccio's painting, Betrayal of Jesus. This image is similar to Caravaggio, but more similar to Giotto's. It illustrates a crowd of full-length figures which are put against heavenly gold and illustrate a variety of emotions. This was Duccio's step towards humanizing religious subjects. Duccio's ability to be a pictorial storyteller is shown through the golden skies, rock formations, and use of light and dark to illustrate a range of tonalities. Through the style of the figures and their posture, gesture, and facial expression, Duccio shows a change from Byzantine art. In the image, viewers can see 3 trees looming above the whole scene, which mark the 3 stages that will occur in the image: Judas lunging and kissing Jesus, the disciples fleeing the scene away from Jesus, and Peter cutting off the ear of the high priest's servant. Duccio was able to carefully show the anger of Peter, the malice of Judas, and the timidity and apprehension of the fleeting disciples all in one image. The blue of Jesus' garment illustrates the sky, which illustrates the infinite and all-knowing. Just as Giotto did, Duccio used a dramatic style to represent religious drama, which was interpreted through human actions and reactions. So what is the difference between these 3 paintings? Because from what I can tell, it's just 3 random dudes trying to one-up each other and prove who's the best. Well, for one, Caravaggio's painting is a much more personal and up-close take of this moment. It takes the larger, more crowded illustrations by Duccio and Giotto and condenses them to just a few figures. Another difference is the instance of light and dark. Caravaggio's image is a more darker, focused image only lit by a single flame, while Giotto and Duccio illustrate this image against bright blue skies or bright heavenly gold. So why is this? Well, during the Baroque period, which was when Caravaggio created The Taking of Christ, artists were known for creating paintings that were very high drama and very emotional. By making the image so close and personal and dark, Caravaggio is showing the drama and emotions of each figure shown. He was known for setting such vivid hues against the dramatic dark shadows in the back, which allowed his skill and his layer-by-layer technique that he perfected to really shine. Another difference between these images is that in Caravaggio's image, the space between the figures is almost blurred. During the Baroque period, among the drama and high emotions was also a tendency to blur distinctions between the various figures shown in the image, which is exactly what Caravaggio did. When looking at Giotto and Duccio's illustrations, both are titled the same and both were created during the late medieval Italy time period, but they do have differences in style. Paintings during this time were known for their formality and symmetry and relaxed rigidity and frontality, which can be seen in both Giotto and Duccio's illustrations. In conclusion, viewers can see the comparison and contrast between these three images. In many ways, they are similar, yet in many ways they are not. Depending on the artist and the time period, each image holds its own style of the same moment in history, and that's what makes art so special.